Patuloy na naaaning ang China sa Pilipinas, mga kakotsero, dahil meron na naman silang ginawa kanina. At maliban ito dun sa nangyaring pagbati ni PBBM sa Taiwanese president, sa Taiwan president na si President Lai, may bago na naman, mga kakotsero. Pag-usapan ngayon natin yan. Pero bago natin pag-usapan yan pala, mga kakotsero, magpapasalamat muna tayo sa ating mga kaibigan sa Sendwave, mga kakotsero. Ayan. So kung kayo po ay nasa US, UK, Canada, Italy, France, Spain, Ireland, and Belgium, may pwede na po ay magpadala ng inyong mga remittance sa Pilipinas, gamit po ang Sendwave. Ang gagawin nyo lang ay download ng Sendwave app, gawa kayo ng account, ilagay nyo yung bank account details, at pwede na kayo magpadala sa GCash, Cash Pickup, at iba't ibang mga bangko sa Pilipinas. At kapag ginamit nyo po ang Sendwave, no, sa inyo pong unang padala at nilagay nyo po ang promo code na Coach Jared, ay makakuha pa ng karagdagang $20 free credit. Kaya yan, mga kotsero, gamitin na mo si Sendwave for all of your remittance needs. So ito na nga, mga kotsero, yung nangyari kanina. Ito na nga. Pag-usapan ngayon natin. Ito, nabisto kanina. China Coast Guard harassed Pinoy fishermen in Bajo de Masinloc. Sinabi po yan ng ating Philippine Coast Guard. Ayun. Ano na naman sila. Meron na naman sila pag-atake sa ating. Ito yung masaklap dyan, mga kotsero. Hindi na lang Coast Guard ang binibira nila. Hindi lang yung mga nagdadala ng ng mga gamit sa mga bata natin dyan sa BRP Sierra Madre, binibira nila. Pati mga sibilyan, bumabalik na naman sila doon sa panghaharas ng mga mangingisda. Ito nangyari. The Philippine Coast Guard, PCG, on Sunday confirmed the reported harassment that Filipino fishermen experienced from the China Coast Guard in Bajo de Masinloc in Zambales, which is the southeast entrance of the Scarborough Shoal. Ang sabi, Commodore J. Tariela of the PCG said they have tracked the origin of the video circulating online, which showed personnel from the China Coast Guard accosting Filipino fishermen after the latter was spotted collecting seashells in the area. Ano ho yung video na yan? Ito, papakita ko sa inyo. Saan yun? Yan, tingnan natin sa dito sa Inquirer. Puntahan natin to. Yan. Ayun, nasa loob. Pinaba sila. Oh. Yung China Coast Guard, Oh, huli. Binidyo sila ng mangingisda. Ito yung mga mangingisda, Yan silang lahat, Ayun, Yun. Yan, Duro-duro pa. Yan, China Coast Guard. Yun. Huli. So, napatunayan na raw na totoo yan. Ano nasabi? The PCG have successfully identified the origin of the videos and have taken steps to gather sworn statements from the individuals involved. Yan po sinabi ni Tariela. So, totoo nga may ganap. At ang ganap ay, as usual, ang mga komunista ng China binibiktima na naman ang mga mangingisda natin. Mr. Jack Tabat from Zambales has admitted that the video came from their boat, FB Legendary Joe. According to his statement on January 12, 2024, Filipino fishermen who were collecting seashells near the south entrance of Bajo de Masinloc experienced harassment from the China Coast Guard. The fishermen were instructed to return the seashells they had gathered to the sea and were subsequently driven away. Ito yung sinasabi natin, mga kotsero. Na merong what do you call this? May epekto yung panghaharas ng China sa ating mga sa ating mga mangingisda. Hindi lang yan doon sa teritoryo. We're not just talking about territory. We're also talking about resources. May pinag-uusapan din tayong mga resources dito. At ang problema, mga kotsero, sa usapin ng resources, hindi gobyerno apektado dyan. Ang apektado po dyan, yung mga hampas lupa at slap soil na katulad natin. Tulad nito, yung mga mangingisda na naghahango ng mga seashells dyan sa lugar na yan. Ano na ngayon na ibebenta nila? Wala na. Wala na. Bakit? Ito kasing mga nakapamura ka na lang talaga eh. Ito kasing mga hayop na Chinese Coast Guard nato, na hindi naman sila dapat nandyan, tumatambay at nagbabantay. Sinong hahango niyan? Yung mga mangingisda ng China? Tignan nyo yung kalokohan. Tignan nyo yung kalokohan talaga. Tapos, sigurado ko, merong mga pro-China advocates dyan. May mga pro-China vlogger, may mga pro-China people na magsasabi, kasalanan niya ni PBBM. Bakit? Kasi ayaw niya maipag-friendship sa China eh. Nung si Digong ba ang presidente, walang problema sa mga mangingisda natin at sa China? Di ba ganun din naman? Nakailang diplomatic protest ang Pilipinas sa panahon ni Digong? If I'm not mistaken, umabot pa kaya ng 800, almost 1,000 plus yun eh. Yung diplomatic protest na inihain ng Pilipinas laban sa China sa buong termino ni Digong. Partida friendly na si Digong sa China. Merong moniker sa kanya, 'di ba? Isang moniker sa kanya, Mao Diggs. Dahil masyado siyang tight sa China. Partida. Friendly na yun si Digong sa China. Nagkakaproblema pa rin tayo dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Partida, mga kotsero. Kakagaling lang natin sa isang usapan with China, bilateral communication with China nitong January 8 yata, if I'm not mistaken. Nang pag-uusapan daw yung mangyayari dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Pero hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin nangyayari. Bakit? Kasi nga, itong si China is an actor in bad faith. Ibig sabihin sa Tagalog, hindi mapagkakatiwalaan. Di ko lang, ba't kaya nagtataka ko, ba't may mga kumaagat pa dyan sa pro-China na yan eh. Weirdoan talaga ako. Based on Tabat's testimony, 5 Chinese Coast Guard personnel on board a rubber boat approached them. 4 of them disembarked the rubber boat and went after the fishermen. So, pinasok sila sa mga bangka. He also documented 1 Chinese Coast Guard personnel grabbing the fishing boat and preventing it from departing unless the fishermen threw back their gathered seashells into the sea. Currently, the PCG is awaiting the arrival of the fishing vessel this evening, which was subjected to the China Coast Guard harassment. We intend to gather testimonies from the fishermen as well. Alam na natin itong kwento na to na si Beijing, si China, inaangkin ng kabuuan ng South China Sea and has ignored an international tribunal ruling. Alam naman natin yan, di ba? Yung, what do you call this? Ang desisyon ng Permanent Court of Arbitration, di ba? Hindi sila sumusunod dyan. That is, assertions have no legal basis. It deploys boats to patrol the busy waterway and has built artificial islands that has militarized to reinforce its claim. So may ganitong drama, mga kutsero, na nagaganap ngayon dyan sa West Philippine Sea. At meron nung isang analyst na nagsabi na ang dahilan kung bakit nagkakaganito ang China, naaaning na kasi ito. Nai-insecure na kasi sila sa Pilipinas. Dahil hindi sila makaporma. Dahil sa lahat ng gawin nila, nagmumukha silang masama. Hindi nila naman sana magiging problema yan kung hindi masama ang ginagawa nila. Kaso napakawawalang hiya eh. Anong gagawin mo sa kanilang mga walang hiya? Di walang hiyain mo rin. Ganun. But anyway, ito yung interview dyan sa si Kuya. Ayan. Isa siyang international relations expert. So ayan. Okay, panoorin natin to, guys.
Don, would it have made a difference if the president did not congratulate Taiwan? I mean, do you think such a move has inflamed the current situation?
Well, we have to understand it this way, right? As I mentioned, this congratulatory message was merely a representation of the continuity in our partnership. But China's reaction just shows how it has become increasingly intolerant and insecure amidst its desire to climb up the international power hierarchy. It is insisting on its own version of the One China policy, where Taiwan should not be mentioned at all, while also demanding that countries respect its sensitivities and interests. But it is in fact China that has continuously and unapologetically disregarded our sovereignty and sovereign rights at a regular basis, disregarding international law. So where do we draw the line in terms of double standards here?
Di ba? Totoo naman yun, mga kotsero. Tama naman tong si Don McGill, if I'm not mistaken. Yan yata ang pangalan niya. Don McGill. Sabi niya, bakit nagde-demand ang China? Nasundin ng buong mundo ang version nila ng One China policy. Pero at the same time, hindi nila ginagalang ang ating soberenya dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Totoo naman. Tulad ng ginawa nila sa mga mangingisda. O yung hanap buhay ng mga mangingisda, ano nangyari? Diba? Ganun lang naman kasimple yun, guys eh. Tapos ulitin ko lang. May mga tao dyan, mga ma-impluwensya rin na tao. Nasasabihin nila, hindi kasalanan niya ni Bongbong Marcos kasi ayaw niya maipagkaibigan sa China. Mga kotsero, ulitin ko lang din yung sinabi ko kanina. Bakit nung kaibigan natin si China, nung kaibigan ni Digong, na nanligaw sa China, ganito pa rin ang nangyayari. Wala namang pagkakaiba. Di ba nangako pa nga ng bilyong-bilyong piso ng investment sa Pilipinas, pero 2 tulay lang ang naibigay? Ganyan sila kasinungaling, guys. Ganyan sila kasinungaling. Tuloy natin to.
All right. Don, you mentioned about, the relationship between the Philippines and Taiwan, part of the President's message, and I quote, we look forward to a close collaboration, strengthening mutual interest and fostering peace, and also ensuring prosperity for our peoples in the years ahead. Now, how concerning is this now for China, that kind of messaging, that kind of collaboration in strengthening of relations between the Philippines and Taiwan, both having a really, really tense relationship with China as of now?
Well, you're absolutely right. The situation has made China more intolerant, as I mentioned earlier. It has become more insecure around its geography. As it tries to maintain a particular sphere of influence, democratic forces, including the Philippines, are pushing for the establishment of that rules-based order, the strengthening of that rules-based order, keeping the region open, keeping the region inclusive and based on international law. Now, of course, this would be something that would not be the interest of China, and it is trying to, of course, emphasize its own counter-narrative to the rules-based order based on an Asia for Asians approach, the Global Security Initiative, which also has significant repercussions for countries like the Philippines. So, of course, it's inevitable. It was inevitable for China to react that way. Yeah.
Okay. Now, China is in a position to make good on its threats to the Philippines, which it has accused of adding to the tensions in the West Philippine Sea, with fostering and posturing, in fact, with other superpowers in terms of dealing with the territorial row. Now, do you think China will likely go beyond just rhetoric at this point? Because it had been saying quite a lot recently.
Well, that's true. China has been saying a lot recently because it recognizes that we, the Philippines, we are now willing to take up our position and stand up for what is rightfully ours based on international law. And this is, of course, something that is displeasing to an expansionist power, willing to, of course, let go of these borders based on international law and to expand its power projection. And, of course, this is something that is not, again, to the interests of China. But, of course, China is also a rational player. It is aware of its limitations and would not go overboard in instigating a shooting war, given its own vulnerabilities. So it is now trying to wait, trying to assess the situation, how it plays on for the next few years. And given our political system, and China's continuity in its political system, it has the luxury of time and patience. So this is where we would have to show our consistency. It would be very important for us to do so.
Okay.
Comment lang ako dito, mga kotsero. Babalikan akong 2 punto. Una, yung binanggit ni Kuya na Asia for Asians narrative na laging binabanggit ni China. Kasi nga ho, mga kotsero, para magkaroon ng para mas lumakas pa o magkaroon pa ng kapangyarihan ang China, pipilitin ho nilang hatiin ang mundo. Paano ho hahatiin? Hahatiin ho nila ang mundo sa pamamagitan ng kung sino yung mga kapitbahay ni China, aambunan ng grasya. Yun ang dyan. Aambunan niya ng grasya. So, kami magkakampi kami dito kasi mga Asians kami. Ganon siya. Tapos, ito namang kabila, ang mga Western, democratic principles, di ba? International law. Kailangan sundin natin ang kung ano yung patas para sa lahat. Hindi niya ito-tolerate yan. Ganon. Ganito siya sabi ni Kuya kanina. Na kung saan kabilang ang Pilipinas, by the way, kakasama tayo dun sa mga bansa na nagtutulak na ang Asia maging bukas sa lahat, sa buong mundo. Si China naman, para mapagsilbihan ng kanyang sariling interes, pipilitin niya na isara ang buong Asia sa buong mundo. Yun yung sinasabi ni Kuya na Asia for Asians. Ngayon, meron pa siyang isang sinabi dito balikan ko muna yun. Hindi uubra yun. Bakit? Kasi mga kotsero, maski si China, binabali niya yung kanyang sariling commitment na Asia for Asians. Bakit? Yung mga negosyante sa kanila, puro Western eh. Yung mga kapitalista sa kanila, puro galing ng Amerika, puro galing ng Europa, puro galing ng Britanya, puro galing ng Russia. So, paano mo sasabihin na Asia for Asians? So, sila mismo bumabali sa kanilang sariling naratibo. Yun yung una. Pangalawa, mga kotsero, may binanggit din si Kuya tungkol sa, ano ba to? Itong huling parte na to. Wait, balikan natin to.
To, of course, let go of these borders based on internet. China is also a rational player. And of course, let go of...
Yung sa question na yung question kanina na kaya naman talaga tayong sakupin ng China, pero ba't hindi nila ginagawa? Ito. May sinabi si Kuya tungkol dun sa long game. Si China, kaya niya maghintay. Kaya niya maging pasensyoso. Bakit? Kasi, yung kanilang polisiya sa international law, tuloy-tuloy lang. Yung kanilang polisiya on foreign relations pala, not on international law. Yung polisiya nila on international relations, iisa lang. Bakit? Diktador yung presidente Si Xi Jinping, di ba, 20 taon na yata ang presidente dyan sa China. Diktador Pero ang Pilipinas, mga kotsero, nagbabago ang ating foreign policy every 6 years. What does that make us? Tayo po, dahil ganun, tayong Pilipinas ay mas vulnerable. Mas mahina tayo pagdating dyan sa foreign policy. Bakit? Si China kaya niya maghintay. Hanggat buhay si Xi Jinping, hindi magbabago ang foreign policy niyan. At kung ang magiging next president, ang magsusunod na magiging presidente ng China ay miyembro pa rin ng Chinese Communist Party, yung inumpisahan nila Mao Zedong hanggang kay Xi Jinping, itutuloy lang niya. So, walang magbabago sa kanila. Pero ang Pilipinas, nagbabago tayo ng presidente every 6 years. At nagbabago rin tayo ng foreign policy every 6 years. Halimbawa, nung nakaraan, nung kay Digong, pro-China. Ngayong PBBM, anti-China. Diba? So, kitang-kita mo ngayon yung, hindi ngayon consistent yung ating foreign policy. Alam niyo ho ang delikado dito? Kapag yung susunod na presidente, pro-China ulit. Yun ho ang delikado dito. Kaya siya nakakatakot. Kaya ho siya nakakatakot. Bakit? Kapag yung susunod na presidente, pro-China ulit, hindi na ho natin alam kung ano ng pang-aabuso ang gagawin ng China sa West Philippine Sea para siguruhin na hindi na maulit yung mga bagay na nangyari nitong panahon ni PBBM. So, i-expect nyo na mga kotsero, sa darating na 2025, maglalagay ang China ng mga senador na aayon sa gusto nila. Popondohan nila yung eleksyon ng mga tao na aayon sa gusto ng China. Pagdating ng 2028, itagaan nyo sa bato, hindi yan aamin ng China. Hindi aamin ng China. Pero, at hindi rin aamin yung kandidato na pro-China. Maniwala kayo, hindi aamin yan. Malalaman lang natin na pro-China siya kapag nahalal na siya. Yun yung masaklap dyan. Pero, popondo ang China dyan, sigurado. Mamumuhunan yan sa isang kandidato na papabor sa kanila. Kaya itong 2028 at saka 2025, crucial to. Kailangan maging masigasig tayo dito sa eleksyon na to. Dahil hindi na lang ho, ang usapan ho dito, hindi na dilawan versus admin. Hindi na lang ho labanan ang dilawan ang usapan dito. Hindi na. Ang usapan dito, itataguyod ba natin ang soberenya ng Pilipinas? O maglalagay na naman tayo ng isang presidente at mga senador na luluhod kay Mother China? Tuloy natin itong video.
These borders based on international law and to expand its power projection. And of course, this is something that is not, again, to the interests of China. But of course, China is also a rational player. It is aware of its limitations and would not go overboard in instigating a shooting war, given its own vulnerabilities. So it is now trying to wait, trying to assess the situation, how it plays on for the next few years. And given our political system, and China's continuity in its political system,
sabi ko kanina, may continuity sila.
And patience. So this is where we would have to show consistency. It would be very important for us to do so.
Okay, I don't know how much value you put into this, but the Philippines and China, again, in a bilateral meeting, had agreed to improve maritime communication in the South China Sea starting 2024. From the diplomatic level down to the respective men on the ground. Now, do you see these efforts bearing fruit? I mean, the disconnect between high-level agreements and the situation on the ground has always been a problem in recent years. But are you hopeful? Do you have faith in this new agreement?
Well, you've put it quite aptly, Mr. Stanley. But, as a democratic country willing to keep a stable neighborhood, it's definitely in Manila's best interest to hope for the best. But, we have in terms of the statements of Beijing, we have now learned to verify first before believing. And this is, of course, very important. So, but at the same time, we remain consistent in keeping and prioritizing open channels of communication. So the recent talks is something that are in our best interest. There's no doubt about that. But again, believing is another issue, and we would have to base it on what's happening on the ground, while being optimistic but careful as well.
All right. Lastly, Don, what other complications are you seeing that would cause a further deterioration of Philippines-China relations at this juncture?
Well, we are on that path where, as we are trying to protect and preserve our sovereignty and sovereign rights, this intersects with the intensifying U.S.-China power competition and the vulnerabilities of what is taking place around us in the Red Sea, in the Middle East, and in Eastern Europe, all having interconnected implications, making the environment much more complex. So this creates more awareness for miscalculation. But we have to remain consistent and careful as we navigate these turbulent waters.
Yun. Medyo hindi pa rin maganda ang ang magiging future sa gitna ng Pilipinas at ng China. Medyo hindi pa rin maganda Lalong-lalo na mga kotsero na may balita na ganito. bagong West Philippine Sea Joint Patrol ng Amerika at Pilipinas pinaplansya na. Napapadalas Napapadalas ang Amerika sa Pilipinas Okay. Etong sinabi. Naipagkita si U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines Mary Kay Carlson kina Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro at mga opisyal ng Armed Forces of the Philippines para pag-usapan ang mas malakas pang defense cooperation ng dalawang bansa. Kabilang na ang bagong joint patrol sa West Philippine Sea. Certainly this coming year, we expect both of our militaries to continue to cooperate and to exercise and to do whatever it takes, both bilaterally, multilaterally, to ensure the safety of our people. Yan po ang sinabi ng ambassador galing Amerika. Tapos, bagamat walang detalyeng ibinigay ang US Ambassador sa naging usapan sa Joint Patrol, sinabi ni AFP Chief General Romeo Browner na kailangan ang Joint Patrols upang mas higit na maipatupad ang rules-based international order. Ito yung gusto natin, yung rules-based international order. Ang problema, si China ayaw. Ayan. So, yun ang dyan. Yun ang problema dyan. Pero at least nangyayari. At least meron na ngayong mga ganap na joint patrols. At syempre, lalait-laitin niya ng China. Sabihin, wala yan. Flex-flex lang yan, etc. etc. Pero, deep inside, nai-insecure. Deep inside, nanginginig. So, ganon. Ganyan yan, China eh. At hindi lang po Amerika ang kaalyado natin, Don't forget, we have Asian alliances. Meron tayong kakampi sa South Korea. Meron tayong kakampi sa Japan. Siyempre, kakampi natin ng Taiwan. Also, kakampi rin natin ng India. Paano na yun? Dumalakas ang ating mga kaalyansa. Tapos, naglagak ng... Ito yung pinakamalaking budget na inilagak sa ating armed forces. Itong budget season na to, 2024. At asahan nyo pa na sa mga susunod na taon, mas lalaki pa ang budget ng ating armed forces. So mga kotsero, may dahilan ang China para ma-insecure. May dahilan sila para manginig. Ang tanong, gagalaw ba sila? I doubt. I don't think they will. Lalong-lalo na ngayon na bagsak ang kanilang ekonomiya. So mga kotsero, hanggang dito na po muna tayo sa ating video for today. Please don't forget to subscribe sa ating Coach Jared YouTube channel and paki-follow na rin po tayo sa ating Facebook page para laging updated sa mga ganap sa aking channel. And I'll see you again in our next Coach Jared Live. God bless and see you next time. Bye!